Hey everybody, did you know you can go to colinmullen.com in order to get art and art prints? That's why I set up the website, colinmullen.com. So hey everybody, real quick before we get started, sorry about the weird thumbnail. These are for my wife for her birthday. Her birthday is on the 3rd, so and she's subscribed to me on YouTube because she's a supportive, loving wife, which is why I want to make nice gifts for her, but also it'll show up in her YouTube feed, and I don't know how often she actually looks at her sub box, and then she'll see it, and then it'll be... Can't have the actual image like I normally would. You get it. I didn't need to explain it that much. These are of our 2 cats. She said that she was kind of jealous that there are all these wood block paintings that I was doing, and she was like, I kind of want one. And I'm like, okay, I could do that. I got it. We're going to do another one for her later, but yeah. So that's what this is. Herman and Abby, our 2 cats. Anyway, let's talk about today's thing. And today's thing is talking about Palworld. And we're going to do a brief, just quick fire bullet points of things that are not true about Palworld so we can talk about the plagiarism thing, which is, arguable. They didn't use generative AI in order to make the concept art or any of the textures because at the time, the generative AI was just not good enough to do that. They did use assets from the asset store. That's the point of the asset store. It's allowing you to, just not spend development time on stupid stuff that no one actually cares about, like a grass texture. As long as it fits the aesthetic, no one's going to notice. Companies do this all the time. Dark Souls and Elden Ring both did this. Companies just do that because it just makes sense not to waste your time. You're an artist. You know how long it takes to make things? Just buy a thing in order to do it's fine. That's what the asset store is there for. It's fine. What's not fine is plagiarism. And I was originally going to do a plagiarism video a few months ago, or a few weeks ago, whatever, when the H-Bomber Guy video with James Summerton came out. And we were going to talk about plagiarism and when it's okay and when is it not plagiarism and all that. I think we can have that discussion again, but I think we can have an actually more nuanced and more intelligent conversation now that this Palworld thing came out. Because if you haven't seen the H-Bomber Guy video, he accuses him fairly rightly, I feel like, based on the evidence he provided, of stealing other creators' work word for word and just claiming it as his own, not, saying it was a source, not saying anything like that. Just saying that it was his own work. That's plagiarism, very straightforward. And that was bad because he was stealing from smaller creators, and because of the nature of the guy's work being very LGBT focused, a lot of it was stolen from LGBT creators, which kind of just has a nasty feel to it, where it's just these people are, already being pushed to the fringes with the way that YouTube does stuff, where it still doesn't know that LGBT does not mean that it's explicit in some sort of way, just inherently, because the algorithm is screwed up. There's a lot going against you if you're going to make content of that style on YouTube, and it's content that people want, people need, and it's something that I can't give. I don't know anything about that, so I'm not going to try. But, it's good that it's out there that people can access it. But when someone's stealing other people's content, it squashes those people from being able to do that. That's a bad thing. I think that's pretty easy to say. But with Palworlds, what we've got going on is they're stealing designs, possibly. And again, I'll say allegedly here because of the legal requirement of not getting in trouble, but allegedly they have stolen some designs from Pokemon and slightly edited them. I think when you actually look at some of them side by side, it looks a little too close for comfort. And someone could say, oh, it's parody. And, everyone calls this game Pokemon with guns, so there is an argument that is what it is. But you look at the other games that they've made, and their new game that they're putting out soon, which is essentially just, Hollow Knight, but with building mechanics, because they just can't stop making building mechanics in their games. It becomes a little bit more questionable, where it's are you guys making original concepts, or are you just taking ideas from other people, remixing it enough that no one will notice? or at least it won't be a legal problem. So both Game Freak and Nintendo are, the people that make Pokemon and Pocket Pair, the company that makes Palworld. They're both from Japan, and in Japan, there is not a fair use exception for parody, which I think is probably the most generous way you could call what Palworld is doing. Which means that legally speaking, it's pretty, not good for Palworld in Japan. In America, there's definitely an argument to be made as far as parody goes, but not in Japan. So we'll see how that ends up turning out. But I really don't think that this is a situation where we should rely on the law to be the judge on how we feel about it. I think we should take our own morals into account here. So what your morals are on this one are yours. I see Nintendo as a giant company that feels like it has the absolute domination and the ability to have the small little fellas that hang out and follow you, and you can capture and you can collect them all. They seem to feel like they have a complete monopoly on that idea. There have been other ones that have come out, like Yokai and Digimon, and apparently one other one that I didn't really know about, and I don't really feel like I should talk about because I don't know what it is. Tim, I think it is. Something like that. Anyway, I feel like this is a very different situation than what's going on with the James Somerton thing. One is a guy who already has an established platform, using his the trust that he's gained over the years to be able to just steal from other people, people who are trying to do what he's trying to do, be educational about LGBT content as it has gone over through history, or at least that's my understanding of his content. But he's stealing it from people who are also doing better research than him because he has to steal in order to get research as good as theirs. That feels very different to me than what's going on with Palworlds. Whether or not I feel cool with Palworlds or not, I'm still on the fence about it a little bit, because what Palworlds is doing is that they're taking from a mega national company. Nintendo is a big deal. Nintendo is Disney level big. According to this random chart that my dad sent me about this is from Stats Panda. I don't know them. But apparently Pokemon has more of a market cap than the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Call of Duty, Harry Potter, Looney Tunes, and Mario combined. It's a big deal, and it has a almost complete monopoly over the little fellas market. And if it weren't for the fact that every other thing that Pocket Pair does seems to be just a bootleg and a knockoff, I would say, maybe we should calm down about this a little bit. Even with as close as they seem to have traced the models. But it feels a little weird to try and defend them to any degree after knowing that they just kind of do that all the time. I don't think that the Hollow Knight devs are going to be super excited about the fact that, well, they're, about to put out Silk Song, theoretically at some point. Some point, right? It'll come out. It feels very different to be stealing from them rather than Nintendo. And they've done this before, and it seems like they'll do it again. And so I'm still left a little bit in a weird position where it seems like they do, rip off or at least trace to some degree the elements from Pokemon. And so I don't know if I'm ever going to stream it again. I don't know as if I want to support the company in that way, just because I'm still not quite sure how I feel on that front. But I would say that what James Somerton did is significantly worse than what Pocket Pair has done with Palworld. But that's just my hot take. And I think that you should maybe consider those two situations when you're making your own decision about this. Because, is fair use involved here? Is this parody? Is this copyright infringement? Is this plagiarism? It's walking real close to that plagiarism line for me. And that's why I'm still not quite sure about it. I don't want to use legal definitions here because, like I said, this is a conversation made by an American talking about two Japanese companies whose game has become very popular in America there's a lot of weird legal stuff, and I do not know the Japanese law system at all. I'll be honest. The closest I've ever gotten is whatever's going on in Ace Attorney, and that I don't think really counts as a good basis of Japanese law. So, yeah, that's my hot take for now, and it's a little bit mild, I'll be honest with you. But I want to know what you guys think about it. I want to know where you guys are at mentally with this whole situation, and especially with the comparison of it and James Somerton. Anyway, I want to thank everyone on patreon.com/RevScarecrow, but an extra special thank you to the people at the $5 tier or more. You guys are all helping me keep this ship alive, keep this dream alive, keep YouTube rolling, because YouTube ad money, like I said, ain't good, even if you're not talking about the LGBT stuff. So thank you guys for allowing me to continue making this stuff. But extra special thank you to my mom and dad. I love you. Thank you, Wap Fu. Thank you, Tofoundor. Thank you, Skelecorgi. Thank you, Reverend Joe. Thank you, Retrograde. Thank you, Mortis. Thank you, Kayla Hollinger. Thank you, Josepher. Thank you, Gala. Thank you, Gabriel Bennett. Thank you, Freak Wannabe. Thank you, Egg. Thank you, Dragon. Thank you, Cloudburst Sapphire. Thank you, Chiptune Glitch. Thank you, Bungle Paws. Thank you, Bep. Thank you, BD648. Thank you, Amber. And thank you, Ats! I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully it gave you something to think about. Generally speaking, I would just recommend not going so close to the line that you're maybe gonna get accused of plagiarism. As an artist, that seems like a good strat. Not gonna give you legal advice, but that seems like a good piece of advice all the same. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.